guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Crown Eurocars, sunny St. Pete, Florida, because guess what? We have this ultimate of off-road vehicles. This is a 2017 Mercedes Benz G550 4x4 squared. This is a one-off special edition series of the G-Wagen that Mercedes Benz did. But before we dive into this beast, let's talk a little bit about the G-Wagen. The G-Wagen, I know people, they think the Kardashians, they think about their favorite mall and G-Wagons drive around the mall parking lot. Well, guess what? The G-Wagen has been around since 1979, if you could believe that. And its true intention and purpose was to be that ultimate of off-road vehicles. So much so that it was built specifically to be part of military units, like the Israeli army that has used it since 1979. Over time, the shape of the G-Wagen has not changed. Only until recently, with the second generation of the G-Wagen, do we see a major change. But what you're looking at with this 2017, you could trace the lineage back with your finger, trace it all the way back to 1979. Now for 2017, Mercedes-Benz wanted to do something big, and they wanted to showcase that, guess what? If you think the G-Wagen is the best that they could do, they could bring it up another level. So this is specifically built by Mercedes-Benz. They call it the 4x4 squared, and you're looking at a vehicle that's gonna have not only suspension ability to basically pass about anything, crawl over anything, but also wheels, tires, the whole 9 yards has been upgraded with this particular vehicle to make it that standout in the luxury off-road SUV class. Let's go ahead, let's dive into this 2017, 1 year only, G550 4x4 squared and see, really, is it that perfect, the perfection of off-road luxury SUV. Right off the bat, sheer size. Still same look, but the size has been increased. This 4x4 squared is over 5 inches wider, over 10 inches higher, and you're gonna see that when we go down the side of it. It's gonna make me look like a Smurf as I'm standing next to it. But as we're looking at the color, this color, it's called Desert Silver, fits it to a T. I love the classic exterior fender lighting. Like I said, trace it back all the way to 1979. This one, obviously, Mercedes-Benz upgraded the headlights. You have other LED exterior lights. Looks clean, looks a little bit more modern. Here's where we're getting some of that extra width. You have full carbon fiber fenders, and I think it was so awesome the way that they painted it half desert silver, half just bare carbon fiber, just to prove a point. Sometimes it's good just to prove a point, and they definitely did that extra 5 inches. How many guys would like an extra 5 inches? I mean, think about it. But you're getting that with this G-Wagen. As we come across the front, I don't even need to bend down. You have a blacked out Mercedes-Benz star. Love the logo with it black, looks really classy. The chrome horizontal bars, fully functional, top and bottom venting, even on the corners. Both corners, everything is meant for extra cooling. Now we're gonna go ahead and drop down. You're gonna see about 20 inches of ground clearance. Of course, full metal skid plate protection all the way back. One thing that gives us that 20 inches of ground clearance, very, very rare to see this on a vehicle unless somebody's really customizing it themselves. That's a ported axle setup. So what that does is it lifts the whole differential, the axles, up out of the way so that you're gonna be able to just about go through anything. You see a Raptor on the side of the road, you see a Toyota TRD Pro, you'll be able to pull them all out with this G550, but that's where we're getting all that awesome ground clearance. Just look at it, like I said, not only the width, but look how beefy and meaty those off-road tires are. We go up onto the hood, classic shape. Nice raised section, you got your exposed hinges on the back towards the windshield. Everything is squared off. Up top, full carbon fiber on that light bar. Love the LED exterior lighting up there. Just really fits the personality to a T with this beast of a vehicle. Now, as we come around the bend, I'm gonna have to go an extra 2.5 inches, because remember, it's 5 inches. Come around, look what we're working with wheel and tire setup. This is a 22-inch wheel, forged aluminum. Love the machining that's done, gloss black. You got that iconic logo there right in the center. Look at the size of the calipers. Brembo 6-piston calipers, the size of Ronald McDonald's head. It's gonna clamp down on that rotor, fully ventilated and cross-drilled. And then here's the real magic. You have one shock absorber each corner. Check it out. We have 2 shock absorbers on each corner of this vehicle, full adjustability. This is what's going to separate you from the rest of the off-road crowd. Now, you have your side venting very nicely done, that classic rubber bar that goes across the belt line. Here's the height. I'm 6 feet tall. You can see just how massive of a vehicle this is. You have your running boards, which you're gonna need to get in and out. Love all the exposed hinges. Of course, when you push the button, gives it that nice click. When you close it, it sounds like you're sealing up a safe for the rest of your life. Coming towards the rear fender's nicely flared out. Look at our exhaust. You got a nice exhaust setup that exit right before the rear wheel and tire. Blacked out. I can't wait to hear that V8 sound coming from there. Look, I didn't lie. 2 up front on both sides. You're gonna have 2 on both sides out back, and that great wheel and tire setup. Even the little touches. Look how they did the 4x4 squared. Do your math. Don't forget to carry the 1. Really great setup. As we come to the rear, you can see massive rear quarter windows. And then out back, one thing they did was they eliminated the spare tire carrier. It's amazing how without that, it really does clean up the back of the vehicle. You do have your reverse camera, which of course back in 1979 they didn't have reverse cameras, so they decided to just stick one up. It's interesting when you use it because it's at such a height. Normally your reverse camera is about here, so it being even higher just gives you a weird perspective. You have your third brake light mounted nicely up top. Even your rain guard, that's what this is. This is actually a rain gutter, catches the rainwater so it's not dripping all over the place. And then the back, you have your rectangle traditional taillights. Even the way this opens up, I just love that personality you get. And then check out this rear brush bar, full metal, totally just something that separates it from the rest of not only the SUV crowd, but definitely the G-Wagen crowd. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and check out the V8. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You have a massive hood strut underneath that hood. I hope you like twin turbos because you have a beautiful twin turbo setup. You're looking at that 4-liter twin turbo V8, 416 horsepower, 450 pound-feet of torque. It's all gonna be mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission. This vehicle weighs 6,700 pounds, can tow 7,500 pounds. 0 to 60 though, 7.3 seconds. Think about that. Almost 7,000 pound vehicle accelerating 0 to 60, 7.3 seconds. And if you're brave enough, it has a top speed of 130 miles an hour. MPGs, you better like hold your ears shut. You're not gonna like this one. 11 in the city, 11 on the highway, but I think that is something that you'd come to expect. And of course you have that full 4x4 capability. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this German beast and hear its roar. All right, guys, we're inside the 2017 Mercedes Benz G550 4x4 squared. Say that 10 times fast. But I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, this has a big name. It's a bad mamma jamma. How much is she? Well, brand new back in 2017, this thing sold for $230,000 with 16,300 miles. Crown Eurocars has it marked at $179,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the top of the door panels. Now, you have your traditional seat controls that you find on a Mercedes Benz. I like the addition of the carbon fiber 3 memory settings. And then check it out. You have leather with some contrast stitching and that quilted diamond stitch design on the Alcantara at the top. In the middle, you got like a Snickers holder. And then down below, you could put a couple bushels of bananas down there. Now, you do have a Harman Kardon sound system on here. They did a pretty good job at taking a utilitarian door panel and making it luxurious. You got your oh crap handle up front, which is nice. The carbon fiber's a great touch, the leather, the stitch work, but this is all classic 1979 interior. You have your infotainment system screen. Is it a touch screen? No, you're gonna have to use the directory knob controls to go through the different settings. It actually is quick functioning and does have that iPad style. Now, if you get the new G-Wagen, they've updated all the technology in here, which is really nice. But you could go into your different things, like for example, I could go into operator's manual if I wanted to, get that information. We could go back to home. It takes time to download, sort of like the performance pages in an FCA product. But there's our owner's manual. Carbon fiber trim. You do have a key fob, but you have to put it in the ignition and crank it to fire this beast up. CD player. Here's all your controls for the 4x4 system. Nice silver buttons. Of course, you have ventilated seats and heated seats. More carbon fiber. Dual climate control. This is the older style. So if you haven't seen this, don't roll your eyes too much, because this is how it was on all the Mercedes Benz products. Carbon fiber. Open this guy up. You got an ashtray. I would put probably maybe a Jolly Rancher or two in there. Close that up. You have your shifter for your 7-speed automatic transmission. Little basket. If you're bored and you have little balls of paper, you could shoot for 3-pointers. No, seriously, that's actually a cup holder. So you don't have a physical cup holder in here. This is what you have as an option. So hey, that's what you get with the old school G-Wagon. Good old fashioned e-brake. Thing's massive. There's that direct drive controller knob for the infotainment system. 12 volts, hard leather, but the stitch work is nice. You open this up, you got enough area in there for about 12 Twinkies, 2 USBs. Seats are gorgeous. The leather, the stitch work, 4x4 capability. Even what's awesome about these seats is you have the ability to control the bolstering. So you could actually change the bolstering for the seats all right here and have also the seat controls. I think one of my zonks is definitely going to be there's no actual cup holder besides the basketball hoop. Sunroof, all wrapped in Alcantara. The only challenge with that is you can't open up the shade. There's no ability to just open up the shade. If we open it up, you're opening up the sunroof. That's what you're doing. So there we are with the hot Florida sun beaming on me. But plenty of headroom, plenty of shoulder room, old school feel, crazy 4x4 capability. Coming over the business end, I want to show you behind the wheel of this G-Wagon. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of this G-Wagon. You can just see how high I am here. I feel like I'm sitting on top of a ladder, but you have that beautiful Mercedes Benz plaque down there on the sill. And then really just the seats are super comfortable. Nice bolstering. Steering wheel has Alcantara and the leather. Paddles to go up and down the 7-speed automatic transmission, tasteful on the buttons. And then the gauges are simple and straightforward. No digital dash like on the new one. You have an analog speedometer, analog tach, and then that digital display in the center. Real clean, real easy, and it's been like that for years, unless you go for a brand new G-Wagon. But I like the simplicity, like the character of this vehicle. Let's check out the back seat and see how much room you have for your passengers in this G-Wagon. All right, guys, backseat time in the G-Wagon. Right away, I'm gonna have to zonk the back seat because there's no actual grab handle on the frame to get in and out. It really is that high. The good news is because of the boxy shape of the G-Wagon, even your backseat passengers have plenty of headroom, especially with this Alcantara. And if they get bored, they could pet it just like a pussycat. So that's a nice touch. You do have pockets. I wouldn't put a banana in here because it's gonna get squished, but you could put a couple books. Hey, you know, maybe fool the strangers that your kids are super smart. Put a couple books in there. The strangers that come into your G-Wagon may think your kids are super smart. Just something to think about. 2 cup holders, and I have an empty bottle here that somebody left in here to showcase how the cup holder works. Only a 12 volt. So just one 12 volt, 2 USB, 2 AC vents. I'm gonna zonk it because there's no USB. They added all that fancy suspension work, but they couldn't give me a little bit more tech in the back, especially for $230,000 brand new. Seats though are awesome. The Alcantara is so great. The leather is super soft. And as you can see, I'm sitting really, really nice in here. Why don't we check out that cargo area and see how much room we have in this G550. All right, guys, time to check out the cargo area. Like I showed you earlier, you just push that button, swing her open, and you can see the amount of room. Now I am gonna zonk the way that the door opens because think about if you're parallel parked. It's gonna be a bear to open this door, but look at the Alcantara on the back of the door to the cargo area. You just don't see that very often, and it makes sense on this vehicle. Now on the driver's side, you do have your emergency Twinkie cargo net for that person that's hangry in your group. You have a home power source. Those seats can fold down, and then look at the cargo area we have. We actually have storage right here. You could fill that up, 3 Musketeers. You could put your Kit Kats, your Reese's peanut butter cups, beautiful carpeting, the Mercedes Benz logo there. Nice tall opening. That's one of the wonderful things you're gonna get. But why don't we get to the best part, probably the craziest part of this particular Ladies Rides video review. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this G-Wagon for a spin. All right, guys, we're inside the 2017 Mercedes Benz G550 4x4 squared on throttle. That 7-speed drops down, that twin turbo V8 fires, and we are off. And I'm telling you, it's crazy how this vehicle accelerates, almost being 7,000 pounds. Sitting up nice and high. This may be the highest I've ever sat in a vehicle on Rady's Rides. Now, we have done some pretty high lifted trucks, but this really has a totally different experience because on those trucks, you have so much hood to look at. With the G-Wagen, the hood is so short and it's kind of angled down. You could actually see the end of it, which gives you a wild perspective. But as you can imagine, the ride quality is very smooth. I mean, you do have 8 shock absorbers on this vehicle, so I'm hoping actually more than 8. You have 2, 4, no, you have 8. You have 8 shock absorbers on this thing, so you should have a nice ride. Steering feel is actually quite impressive, even with those heavy-duty off-road wheels and tires. Visibility out the back, it's tough because of the headrests, but I think it's just one of those things to expect in this vehicle. It has really high, bulky headrests. Side mirrors, I'm gonna have to zonk. They're on the smaller side, and they don't really give you the best visibility, but I think most people in this vehicle will be watching out for you, rather you watching out for them. Brakes feel great. You got those massive calipers, and overall just smooth. I mean, twin turbo V8 power on throttle. Here we go. Yeah, lifted truck, all in the mail. I tell you, this thing hums. She really does. And yeah, you're getting a ton of tire noise, but you know what? With that off-road setup, it's to be expected. I think anybody who buys a vehicle like this and think that it's gonna be like quiet in here, you're wrong. But seats are great, steering wheel, nice thickness. Is the infotainment dated? Yeah, but hey, you are buying a G-Wagen where the actual body dates back to 1979, so I don't think that's really gonna make or break you with this particular vehicle. And remember, this is the only year that it was made, was 2017 was the only year that this particular 4x4 squared was made. So just so unique. Dash is easy to read, easy to understand. All right, guys, here we go. On throttle, 7-speed drops down, off and running. Smooth shifts from that 7-speed. On the brakes, I feel like I'm gonna topple over when I turn this thing in this right-hand bend, but that suspension actually does the business even on the asphalt jungle that we're on. Of course, it would be phenomenal if I lived in a state like Utah or Colorado or somewhere where there was something bigger than a speed bump, because that's pretty much all I have to go off-roading is go through a mall parking lot with some speed bumps. But this thing, I'm telling you, I know without a doubt in my mind would do the business off-roading, 100% guaranteed. But the crazy thing is, if you wanted to daily drive this, yeah, it's gonna be expensive, 11 miles a gallon, but you can do it. If you have the money, anything in this G-Wagen is pretty much possible. But really just impressed with the ride quality. It is super smooth and has great feel. I don't feel like I'm wobbling all over the place, which is nice. But back on throttle, here we go, here we go. Look out, look at that Jeep, that's like a baby Jeep. Looks like a baby Jeep next to me. That's what you're gonna get in this thing, is you're gonna look around, every other vehicle is gonna be like a little Tonka toy, and you're in your lifted G-Wagen with 20 inches of ground clearance. Let's see what acceleration feels like from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. Yeah, nice fast shifts. Super smooth, very impressed with this vehicle. I got the ventilated seats on, leather interior, Alcantara. What else do you need in an off-road vehicle when it comes to luxury, that's for sure. All right, guys, one more time, just driving it around, enjoying this special treat in a very, very special vehicle for certain. But I'm telling you, it handles well. On throttle, puts a smile on your face. You're in a G-Wagen that's 200 feet up in the air. How can you not be smiling? Seats are comfortable though. I like the bolstering, nothing too tight. Feels good. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what this very rare G-Wagen is all about, the 4x4 squared. We're gonna get back to Crown Eurocars and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a crazy time in this G550 4x4 squared. Definitely gotta thank Nicole and the rest of the crew here at Crown Eurocars getting us such a rare vehicle. Like I said, 1 year production, 2017 was it. If you want the ultimate, and not only the G-Wagen, but also luxury SUV, I don't see which other way you could go than this 4x4 squared, but definitely an experience to behold if you can track one of these down. But if these are the types of vehicles that you want to keep seeing, these rare, unique vehicles that you just don't see anywhere, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Ladies Rise merch. Got to get out to Victor working that camera out here in the Florida sun. Check him out on Instagram at Victor Scott Wang Photos. I'm telling you right now, his photography is second to none. So thank you, Victor, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.